Howdy, Layden.
Howdy.
So how do you bounce back mentally after all the hype and everything? I know that you guys talk about it's just the next game, but it's got to be tough in the locker room after a close loss to Alabama. How do you flip the page and get ready for Tennessee?
You flip the page, it's about getting back to work the next week. It is a tough loss, especially after you've been working hard all week, mentally and physically preparing for a great team like that. Two great teams going to battle, and you lose a tough one like that, especially in front of your home crowd, that's been out there for 2 weeks straight, and just all that energy momentum. That's always going to be a tough loss. But at the end of the day, we're at a now what stage? What are we going to do now? We're not finna hold our heads down and just self-pity. No, we got another great team that we're about to go into their home, and play them, and that's a great atmosphere to play in. And I'm excited to play in that atmosphere too as well. And I know that's gonna be a great team, and I know that they're gonna be ready to play. So we gotta do our job and move on to the next week, and we have to get ready to play, and that's what we're gonna do starting today.
We'll go back behind the lights on the right side to Ben.
Layden, what do you feel like has been holding you guys back in short yardage? It seems like especially short yardage run situations. What have you been, I guess, noticing hasn't been getting done at those moments?
I really don't know what hasn't got us over that hump yet, but we have to find it. That's the main thing, short yardage, the red zone. That's a big part of the game. When you get in that red zone, you have to score. So we have to figure out why we're not doing that this week in practice, and we got to get it right, especially for this week.
Any more questions for Layden? We'll go front row on the left side to Cease and then Brent.
Layden, you guys have had a lot of success on true road games recently, the last couple of years. Can you pinpoint anything in the common denominator of why that is?
I can say the reason why we were so successful in the run is just by doing what our coach tells us to do on the daily: run off the ball, just doing ordinary things. That's why we were so successful in the run game. In especially this game, some games we had some that could have hit for big runs. If we would have just strained a little bit longer, it was just the inches that Coach always talks about. That was a big factor in this past game.
I'm sorry, I guess I stumbled a little bit in the question. You haven't had a lot of success on the road
Okay.
games in recent years. My fault. Do you see any common denominator in that?
It's just that we have to make sure that we zone out our focus on the road and zone out everything else and just play our game and make sure that we have the communication. That's a really big part on the road, especially where the fans are going to be rowdy, they're going to be excited too, and especially when we get in the red zone, they're going to be trying to get even louder so that we can't communicate. So the big thing about this week is just keeping our poise and making sure that we listen to our quarterback, we listen to the calls, we listen to anything check. That's very vital this week. Keep our poise and just focus and make sure we stay focused during every asset of this game.
We'll go front row on the right side to Brent and then back to TV row.
Y'all have 4th and 1 right here, late in the third quarter, 17-17. Choice was made to punt. But what was y'all's approach in the huddle? Are you saying, hey, let's go for it, or you just say, hey, we're doing whatever they tell us to do?
We're going to do whatever Coach tells us to do, and our job is to execute it. That's our role as players, and we're going to make sure, and we believe in and we trust in our coaching staff. So with that being said, we're just going to do anything and everything our coach tells us to do, 100% effort at all times.
Is it always the same approach when you have different quarterbacks back there, like with Max Johnson as opposed to Connor Wigman, or is there any kind of difference besides one throwing over here and one over here?
No, sir, it's always the same approach. That's our job at the end of the day. We have to do what's required, no matter what. There's no feelings involved at all. It's just making sure that we get our job done and focus and do the best that we can do every single play.
I guess I meant schematically, in terms of anything.
No, sir, it's not different. It's all the same thing.
We'll go back behind the lights on the left side to Donna and then Tyler.
Layden, Coach Fisher's talked about it's more about execution as opposed to adjustments. So where do you feel like you guys need to execute better going into this week?
We just need to execute better in those key moments. That was a big factor this week. Just those key moments, we just wasn't able to get it done how we wanted to, and those are vital in the game because that could change momentum, that could flip momentum, and that's really big, especially when you're playing a great team. So just those key moments of making sure that we do the right thing and do what we were coached to do.
We'll stay back behind the lights on the left side to Tyler and then Travis.
Layden, was there a difference that you noticed offensively from the first half and the second half?
No, sir, not at all. It wasn't really a difference. We was calling the same things we were calling in the first half. Alabama just did a great job adjusting, and we was doing what we normally would do. You know, it was just slowing down at a point.
And then this will be the first time you guys have gone to Tennessee, but in a actually full stadium.
Oh, yeah.
You know, last time you guys were there was during COVID. So, just what do you anticipate from that atmosphere? Are you excited to play in Neyland?
I am excited because, like you mentioned, the last time we went there was during COVID and it wasn't at full capacity. So now we get to play there when it's at full capacity. And, you know, playing college football, big-time college football, you dream of having moments like this to where you playing atmospheres like that just to have that experience and, you know, just do all that you can do to come out on top and stuff like that.
We'll go front row on the right side to Travis and then Olin.
Yeah, I believe the analytics said that each one of the starters allowed a sack. Y'all have been good at that throughout most of the season at not doing that. What changed in the Alabama game, do you think, that brought a little bit more pressure on the quarterback from y'all?
It was just making sure that we got on twist, bump off twist. That was a real big thing this week. We just didn't get the twist bumped off as cleanly as we wanted to, as we practiced to. But hey, that happens. You know, they're on scholarship too. They make plays too as well. So we just got to get that fixed, and we're going to get that fixed.
I know a lot of pressures came from Chase's side. He's a true freshman. How hard is it to integrate into an offensive line as a true freshman? And is there ever the risk of kind of a plateau or anything like that midseason when you're stepping up early like that?
You know, it's very hard as a true freshman, but I know Chase and I know his mindset and I know how he attacked things every day. Chase is not going to let that break him, and I'm not going to let that break him either because he's a great player. And if you look back at the film, he had some great plays against him. It's just you know, people tend to notice the ones when he didn't. But hey, that happens sometimes, and I let him know that I got his back. The offensive line got his back. Our team got his back, and we're gonna get through this all as a collective. So in my eyes, you know, he did his best that he can do, and I know what he's capable of. So he's gonna come back from this, and he's gonna be great.
We'll go second row on the right side to Olin and then wrap things up with Brent.
Layden, go back to the question of what it takes to bounce back. Can you sense if any of the guys are having difficulty with that, having a hangover from the previous game? And if so, as a senior leader, what do you have to do, or guys like you have to do to snap them out of that?
You know, I have no sense of anybody feeling like that at all. I feel like after that, we had everybody on time to stretch and stride the next day, and we was ready to work, and I felt that present from everybody in there, like, hey, we let this one get away, but we got another opportunity this week to do something great. And you could just feel that presence. Our team has came so far from last season, especially. We've came so far in the way that we grind and the way that we develop, and just going through war with each other. We know what we could do. We know what we could bring the best out of each other. So we made sure that we didn't hang our heads after this loss, and we made sure that, hey, we just got to go back to work. Now this is the exciting part. What you gonna do now?
And also going back to that question of being able to convert on, especially in the running game, on third or fourth and short. What would your response be to those that would question whether you are physical enough as an offensive line?
I'll say just look at the tape. If you really go back and you focus and you look at the tape, you'll see that the transition that we had from last year to this year. And I believe we are a physical offensive line. And just because that one play didn't shape up doesn't define us as an offensive line. I just challenge anybody, if you really want to question how physical we are up front, just go back and look at the tape. We are a physical offensive line, and we take pride in that. Our coach takes pride in that, and I take pride in that. We are a physical offensive line. We don't allow anybody not to be physical because that's just not our way. And just because one play happened, that doesn't define us at all. Like one play doesn't define any player. So we just going to get back to work.
All right, that's all we have. Thank you, Layden.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.